Yep. Good evening, everyone. So you've done that exercise successfully done. I asked you to try the task. Huh? Anybody posted into classroom? Have you tried at least that able to achieve? I given a task, na? You try. You have to try. Finished successful. Done successfully. Posted classroom. The classroom. Right. So this with checkbox, everything working, checkbox functionality. Who is this? Jyoti, you who? This is some Jyoti, all the functionality working. Vipin, anyone is here? Vipin, offline, online people are these, Vipin and others. Yes, it is working fine, Vipin. All this, have you checked? All checkbox radio options. Right, yes, good. So what you are doing, filter. So by using filter, yes, that is good. So actually to use checkboxes, you have to use find and filter methods. Find will return only first occurrence, filter will return multiple. Actually, condition you have to apply through filters. Huh? This is the functionalities. Checkboxes. Okay. Which method used here? Right, filter. Right? Yeah. Actually, what is the concept about filter is? I hope you know, because to achieve this, we need filter concept. Right? So generally, the filter option is nothing but let's say, means I will just show you the concept. Based on that logic, you have to try. Generally, what is point about checkbox? User can select more than one. Then how should be the condition? Suppose we have where products. This products is an array. This products array contains some name, and this belongs to a category called electronics, another name. So this is Nike casuals. This belongs to a category called footwear. Now there is another. So some jeans. So this belongs to a category fashion. And here we have another name, mobile. This belongs to category called electronics. Now, how you can display only the products that belong to products, electronics and fashion? If you know that logic, you can do that exercise I given. how we can display only the products that belongs to electronics or fashion. Actually, what we do for that, we use where result is equal to products dot, we use a filter method. What is the filter condition? We read every item. Understood? Actually, what should happen for every item? So we need every item. We have to return. What we should return? Return the items. That means item whose category is matching with what? Electronics, or you can use or, whose item dot category is matching with fashion. That means electronics or fashion. Now this result will display both. So I will use document dot write. What is it? Result. Result is an array actually. So then I will put here. So for where item of what result, I will print document dot write item dot name. Item dot name. So this is going to print all the products which belong to electronics and fashion. Electronics and fashion. So this is the logic behind it. So that means it will print TV, jeans, and mobile. I will display here, suppose a line break, just, and you can see it is going to display like this. TV, jeans, and mobile. This is the condition behind it. Now, how you have to implement that? So how we can implement this? So implementation is nothing but you have to do like this. What? So you need to just access these details. This category come from two checkboxes. Understood? If you select the checkbox value, one for electronics, another for fashion, those value will be passed into that filter and it will return them. This is the logic you need to implement, right? You need to try them, right? If you can try such tasks, I can give you some more to handle complex things. Okay. So already few people done, right? Once check that. If you still feel any difficulty, I will show. Okay. But you must able to do at this level. These kind of tasks are simple. Okay. Now, these all comes under which concept we discussed. So in React, we all discussed this about data binding. Under data binding, we learned all these concepts. That means we learned how one-way binding works. So we learned how two-way binding works. So we learned how to bind data from API. In that we used a fetch. In that we used jQuery. In that we used Axios. These are the topics we learned in React, and that is related to data binding. API concept is not finished. API is a big concept. So many examples we are going to see, right? So this is React data binding. Now, next important is, after understanding data binding, to do more complex interactions and operations, you need to know another option, that is style and class binding. So in React, you need to understand how to handle style and class binding. Data binding, style binding, class binding, event binding, these are all the concepts of basic React. So what is data binding? Data binding is how we can access the data from the source and bind it to the UI. For that, various techniques we have learned. What is style and class binding? So we will see. Actually, style binding is nothing but style binding. Binding is the process of configuring inline styles for any element dynamically. Style binding means we can configure inline styles for any element dynamically. Actually, how you configure, for example, inline style means suppose there is a heading. We want a border for heading. Generally, how we write style, we can write style, and the style we have border. Border as some like 1 pixel solid, some red color, like this we can apply. This is how we apply inline styles. But in React, this is not supported. In React, you cannot write inline styles like this. That means actually JSX will support so CSS style attributes directly in any element. It will not support. Then what you have to do is styles can bind with HTML elements as JSON object. Styles can bind as JSON object. If you want to apply inline styles, you have to use JSON object. So how? Let's see the concept. That means how it works actually. Let's see the process, how it is going to work. Now, this is one example. I will add a component here. Yeah, I will add a folder, style demo. Okay, in that I will add a new file, style demo.component.js. Okay, let's create a component here. So function export. So function style demo component, and here we return. So we return a simple presentation. Now in this we are applying class name, some container fluid. Okay, now here we are defining some heading. Some heading I defined as style binding. Now we want to apply some styles. For this heading, I want to apply some style. Then let's put this in the startup. Style binding, style demo component. You can see style demo component is working fine. And it is having style binding. Now what we need to do is we need here some presentation here. What is the presentation is add style. I want to apply some border. So we put a style, and in the style we are just writing like this. What is that? So border as 1 pixel solid, some red color, like this we are defining style. That is the style usually we give inline, and you can see here there is no style. Now inspect here. When you inspect, you can see it is showing an error. It says that so an error occurred in the heading, and it is unable to identify the style that you written, because JSX while using it will not allow. That means it will not allow these inline styles. It will not allow inline style. Then how do we apply inline style? So how to configure them is you have to write a JSON object here. We need to configure a dynamic. This is a dynamic expression. In dynamic expression, JSON object means object. In that object, style property. Style property is defined in a camel case. Style property is defined in a camel case. Suppose you want text align. Generally, how we write text align? Text hyphen align. But here we have to write text align. This is camel case. You know camel case. That means it starts with lowercase and it will have an uppercase. That's how we define the camel case and configure. Right. So this is defining titles, means how we configure and define that. Now see here, text. Suppose I want to give border, then what we have to write? Border. Border and colon. What is the value for this? Value is like 1 pixel solid red color, like this border. Now you can see it is going to apply that border and display there. It is going to show that border. That means inline styles you can apply, but JSX will not directly allow. What you have to do, you have to bind as a JSON object. So syntactically, how to do that? You are writing a heading, in that style, in that a dynamic expression. In the dynamic expression, again an object. This object allows a property name in camel case. If it is an single word property, then directly you can write color. Suppose if it is, generally, you know, CSS properties are separated with hyphens, right? Text hyphen shadow, text hyphen align, and display. Right now, if it is separated with hyphen, you have to write in camel case. Camel case. That means here property name colon and the value. So value you have to define in a string. What is the value you have to configure? If there are multiple, then again comma, what is it? Another property name and colon, what you have to do? Value. This is how we need to configure the styles. We need to define the styles. So usually styles can be configured in this way. Styles can be defined in this way, right? This is heading 1. Means how you define styles, style binding. So that means one simple example is, suppose I am writing heading 1, style. In that we need a binding object. We have color as red. Color is text red, comma, text align. Text align is some center like this. We can apply the effects separated with commas, and it should use camel case. Camel case. This is how we define the styles. And why style binding is important, and what is the concept of style binding is nothing but style binding. Style binding allows to change the styles of any element dynamically. To change the style of any element dynamically, we need style binding. That means, so style binding is required to change the element appearance dynamically. For example, So we have validation. If it is valid, then it should show in a green color. If it is invalid, it should change to red color. This is a common thing. That means how you will change the color of any element. So suppose a text box is valid, so you have to display green. Invalid, you have to change to red. How you can dynamically change the appearance of any element? By using which option you can do that? Style. So that is style binding, dynamically applying the styles. Let's put this in one example. This is very regular and very much required every time. It is very regular and very much required every time. Let's see. For example, suppose I am creating a simple page. So a heading say register user, and we have a data list, and we have a data term, and we have user name, and we have data definition. So input type is text. Now I want some validation. I want some validation for this text box. And if any validation is failed, then I want to show some message. I want to display some red color like that we want. Then how we can use that, means how we can manage this. Let's see one simple one. Suppose what we want to do is in this design, when a user enters the username, I need to find out some validation, means I need to find out whether that username starting with a uppercase letter or not. So if it is not starting with uppercase letter, then I have to report an error saying that name must start with uppercase letter. Such some validation I need to define. If it is valid, then it should be green. This text box must be green. If it is invalid, the text box must be red. We need to change this. Let's see how. First, let's see how to put red color for this text box. For that, usually what we do, we put a style. In the style, we will put a object. This object is using border. So border is what? So 2 pixel solid and red. Automatically you can see that have to display red color. That means it is displaying red color. So if it is valid, it should be in green color, right? So it is having a color, that's okay. But when this color should apply? When it is invalid. And when it is valid, what should happen? This should change to green. That means you cannot put some standard values now. We cannot put standard values. These values must change. These values must change. According to situation, they must change. That is why we call style binding. Because style binding means it is not applying some standard styles. It is changing the styles according to situation. React can do that. How? Let's see. Now, you know that this is an object, right? So see now what I am doing is here first we will maintain a state. So we will import use state from React. Okay. Now we will create a constant. So here we will define a simple style object. That means style object and the set style object is equal to use state, and it is an object. In this object, what we are expecting to have, that means what we will do is for this object we will we can predefine some effects. In this object, it should have a border. Currently, border is empty. And it should have text shadow. Text shadow is empty. Not text shadow, box shadow. Box shadow. Box shadow is also empty. Now, these are the object related properties. Two properties that object is having, border and text shadow. Now, what should happen when user is typing the text? How to verify when user is typing? So we can do a lot of things. After user finished typing, while typing, then you can write event like when you want to verify when user finished typing, we can use on blur. On blur. On blur indicates when text loses the focus. When it loses the focus. Loses the focus means when user clicks inside text box, that is focus. When user clicks outside text box or press a tab key, that means it loses focus. That losing focus is called as blur. In next event concept, I will give a list of all events we will learn. What are events detailedly we will learn. But here situation wise, here and there I am using some events. We used on click, we used on change, and here we are using on blur. On blur, we will write a function handle user name, something user name. Okay, we will write a function here. So function, so we will say handle username. So that is handle username function. Now what this function have to do? Collect the username entered in text box. How to collect the username entered in text box? So for that, what we have to do? We have to use event argument. So how to collect the username entered in the text box? So we can use target.value. But I need to verify whether the first character is an uppercase letter or not. Whether the first character is an uppercase letter or not. Then how? To verify that, how you verify whether first character is uppercase letter or not? You can use JavaScript string functions. In JavaScript string functions, I think I given a list of string functions. In string functions, we have char code at. Char code at. Char is returns the character at specified index. Char code at returns the code of the character at specified index. For example, you see, we can use char code at. Char code at. That means here we will define alert e dot target dot value dot char code at 0. Char code at 0. That is the option actually. Generally, you see now, I clicked inside. I typed A. Char code at first index. A starts with 65, uppercase 65. Then it should return that 65. That means if the code is from 65 to 90, that is uppercase letter. Then we need to write a condition here. What is the condition is if e dot target dot what is it? Char code at 0. 0 is greater than or equal to 65. And so double ampersand and e dot target dot char code at 0 is less than or equal to 90. If it is between 65 to 90. If it is between 65 to 90, then what should happen? So then what we will do, we will change the color of the box. Then what I will do is I will say set style object. In that style object, we need to pass an object. This object contains one is border. What should be the border? 2 pixel solid what? Red. Comma. Another one we will use box shadow. 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixel, and this is red. That is the shadow. This is style object we need to apply. That means if it is between 65 to 90, it is valid. Na? Valid means we will put which color? Green color. If it is valid, we will put green color. 65 to 90 means it is uppercase. So else, so we will put else. We will put another style object here. We will keep another style object here. And this time color will be what? Red. This is red color we are applying. So this is the concept how you define. Now this style object should be applied for this text box. That means the text box uses an property called style, and dynamic value comes from where? Style object. The value comes from style object. Style object contains border and text shadow, box shadow. That means now we are dynamically applying style to any element. You can directly write, but you can change according to situation. Now see here, I will put a placeholder, and or we will put a message also. We will see first this. And when you refresh here, I'm clicking inside, I entered some text and click outside blur, then it should display in red color, right? Some problem? Style object is applied on blur. Some error is that, let's check. At value, na? So I directly used char code at target dot value, target dot value dot char coded. Okay. Target value is text, right? That's what you need to do. Right. Fine. Now let's see here. We are entering that text. So, and you click outside, then it is red. And I am entering an uppercase letter and I finished it is green. Any name you entered and it is not an uppercase letter starting, then it is red. You are starting with an uppercase letter, then that is fine. Dynamically, you can change the appearance. That is what we can do by using style binding. This is very regular, very important, because every validation works in this way. For, suppose I want to display a tip along with error, then what we will do? So we will create one more constant, user error. Okay, set user error. What is it? Use state. We will put a string. If it is matching, then what we will do? Set user error is empty. Set user error is empty. Nothing is there. If it is invalid, then set user error. It should display name must start with uppercase letter. Name must start with uppercase letter. That's how we need to define. And observe here. So here what we are doing, we are adding a data definition below. Here we will display. So user error, that message we will display here. And for this data definition, we can set colors again. If it is valid, red color. not valid, green color, we can apply like that. Initially, suppose I can put a class name, text danger. That is CSS class actually. That is actually bootstrap class. Text danger will put in red color. And you can see now here, I clicked here, I entered something and click outside. It says name must start with uppercase letter. That means it is showing error message and it is showing the text. And I entered an uppercase letter, entered an uppercase letter, then it is done. That is hidden. Actually not hidden, we cleaned up. That means we made it empty. Right? If any entered and it is not having, it will show this. And an uppercase letter is entered, then it is fine. Now it is okay. This is dynamically configuring. Here, not only just changing the style, we defined message also. So style binding allows to change the value dynamically, effect of any element dynamically. So that is what actually the concept of style binding. So that means you can create a style object with all properties and we can apply. This is good. This is example I will give you. Style demo dot component dot js. This is the example. Let me copy. This is the example I am defining. This is a simple validation example I showed you. Right? How to change the appearance of any element dynamically. If it is not one element, you need to change several elements, then style is not great. Why? Because style is only for inline, for every element individually. Suppose I have a form, entire form color should change. All elements appearance should change. Then we can't do that. We can't do that by using style binding. So because style binding is only for inline, individually, you can dynamically change not only just validation, you can apply so many effects. For example, see, I will show you one more technique here. Means another example I will show you. So another example is nothing but here. Let's see. I will copy another example. Here, let's create. These are all options, right? I will remove this. Yep. Now I will create a simple presentation here, like I will add, so choose styles. Okay. And I will put a data list, data term. So here, background color. And I will keep a data definition. I will keep here a select. Select, we have an option. So we have like some yellow. So we have an option like some green. Like this we are defining. So we have like red something. Now these are background color. Okay. Now I'm just giving here another data term. And this data term I will give as suppose I given border. So border I am defining here. No, border, or I will say text color. Just I will give text align. Okay. In the text align, I am just giving here another select. You can use radios, all those here. I'm just using a select and an option. So I'm choosing here as suppose white. So I'm using option like, so this is left. Okay. This is left and this is center and this is an right. Like this we define. You can apply 4 color, background color, alignment, everything, right? Now I have some sample text. We have heading, some sample text. Now to this sample text, we want to apply these effects. That means when user is choosing a background color, that color should apply here. And user is choosing a text alignment, that should affect that. Now, how do you do that? A lengthy process. That's what actually problem with React is. Binding techniques, handling form elements is a lengthy process. First, what we have to do, see. First, we have to create a state, constant. Here we need to collect two values. One is the background color, another one is align. So we see BG color, set BG color, okay. Use state. This is a string type, right? And we have constant align. We have set align. This is again use state. It is a string. Now here what we are doing is we are using this BG color and all. So we have to collect the value coming from this. Remember, option will submit what you selected. Then we will put a value. So the value will be in lowercase yellow. Here the value will be in lowercase green. Here the value will be in lowercase red. So here we will give value as, so this is left. So that means what you display, what you submit are a little different here. Capitalization only changing, right? Now what should happen here? This is two colors. There is one more option. What is it? Constant style object. And we have set style object. This is use state. It is an object which have two options. One is what? BG. Background color means not BG. We have to write background color, camel case. It is a string type. Okay. Text align. That is also string. These two we need to define. We need to configure these two. Now when user is changing, this drop down, that means we have to write on change. On change, it have to, so background change. Background change is the event. Here on change. On change is what? Align change. Align change is the function. We need two functions now. So one function is background change. And another function is align change. These two are the functions. Now when background changes, we need to collect here. So we need to collect here. What is it? E. What value they selected. And we need to apply. What is it? Set. Set here, very important is background color we need to apply. Actually set BG color. But BG color is what? E dot target dot value. That is the background color. After you set the background color, what is the text align? Text align is set align. Set align should come from what is in align. That means what is present in align, we need to keep that there. Already what is in align, you have to keep. So I will tell you the situation. After that, next what we have to do, set a style object. Style object is an object which contains, what is it? So it comprises of background color. Background color comes from BG color. BG color. And what about align? Text align. Text align comes from where? Align. This is how we need to apply. That means the background color comes from BG color. BG color means what they selected in the drop down. Am I right? That will be applied and we have to choose that and define. Now this we need to define. We need to define to this sample. That means we have to apply style. What is it? Style object. Currently we set only background color. We need to similarly define. What is it now? Set, we have set BG color. Set BG color comes from BG color. Understood? But text color, text alignment comes from where? Set align comes from where? E dot target dot value, because this is related to alignment drop down. Now the set object is same. Set style object is same. We have to set BG color and align. This is important how you define. Now this is on changing of those values, it is going to apply them. That means you click here and select green, it should apply that green, right? So some alignment, it should apply that alignment. So this is right center. I think we given wrong. What is the alignment we have? Align change. Text align is coming from some value changes. It is taking wrong value. Center is taking left, left is taking center, right. Right. I think the previous value it is applying. Where is it? So here I will keep we need to access the align. We need to access the background. Okay. Refresh. Yes. I selected green and center. Let's collect the value, what it is coming. Alert. E dot target dot value. Alert, right. So let's say right only. Center. Left. It's okay. Where it is wrongly applying, let's check. Here we will give default as BG color as yellow. Default we will give as left. Now when I am changing this BG color, from where these values are mismatching, background change, align change. style object. We will put like this. Directly we will put. Actually, background color comes from here, not BG color. E dot target dot value. Direct. When they choose, it should apply. Now text align should be same align. This should come from, yeah, this should come from E dot target dot value. So green and center, now red and right, center, left. Alignments are fine. Now this color is changing, right? Alignment is working fine. This color where this color is having, we have to get that align. Let's check. Refresh. Green, okay. Red, okay. Yellow, okay. Color is working. When I change the alignment, this background color is resetting. Set BG color is equal to yellow, we given default color. Say green. Oh, it is taking the default one, huh? Right? What we have to access here. When a line is changing, it is collecting the default, but we have to collect the background color. So here we have to give set BG color is equal to, what is it? BG color, whatever it is there. Somewhere a small logical issue is coming. Okay, center. Let me address here. A line is changed. As anyone has it? No, all right. So this set align, set background. We need to store the value and access that. Let's check. Here it is resetting. On drop down, change background color is PG color. Set style object. This may solve the problem little bit. Let's check. Right, it is doing. So what is the logical issue happening is, so what we are doing previously, we are individually applying the colors. Okay, so what we are doing, this text line is already changed, and that changed text line is present in which object? Style object. But which one we are applying? We are applying this align. We are applying this align. Due to that, what is the problem? Problem is nothing but automatically it resets. That means it is taking the default one. It should not take the default one. It should take what is recently set. That recently set is stored in which location? Style object. Style object contains the recent background color and the recent text align. So now we don't need these two. Right? We don't need these two. We can directly manage that. Just we are collecting from E. We are collecting that background color and applying there. And whatever alignment they selected, that alignment is stored in this style object. So that is working fine. So now you see I selected some green and I selected center. So right and left, it's working. I changed it to yellow, then I changed it to center. So and right and left, it's working fine. That is the small logical issue we are facing, right? So what we are doing is we are collecting the default color instead of collecting the recently set color. Recently set color is stored in which location? Style object. Style object. From there, we are accessing and using it, right? That is little bit logical issue we face here, right? Now the same you can apply others. Suppose I want text color. So then I want border. We can apply multiple by using these effects, right? So dynamically you can change the appearance of any element. So, and you can control the appearance by using inline styles, inline style. This is one example. This is again style demo dot component dot js. Okay. This is the logic for style binding. But if I have to apply multiple effects, then inline style is not great. Then what you can do, you can dynamically change the class. We call this as class binding. Class binding is nothing but we can change all elements at a time. Inline is only for a specific element. For every element we need to write. But if you want to change all elements, then we can better go with class binding. So generally class binding is nothing but, so it allows to bind any CSS class to HTML element. But how to bind CSS class? So you know we have to use class name. Class name is equal to whatever the value. This here we have to define the CSS class name. You have to configure the CSS class name. Now, can you apply any dynamic CSS class names? We can. Now, what is advantage of class binding? Class binding actually allows to change the class dynamically. As you changed the style, you can change the class also dynamically. So generally when we use class, we want some set of effects for multiple elements to handle. For that we can use class bind. For example, C means how we can apply a class, right? Generally to apply a class, I will remove this. Okay. And just we will create another simple form. I'm creating here a form. In this form, we have an heading. So we have a span and a class name. So BI. So BI person fill. And here we have user login. And we have a data list with the data term. So username and data definition text box. Input type is equal to text. Okay. Now we have another data term, that is password, and data definition input type is equal to password. Okay, this is password. Then we have a button. So button have login and class name btn login. Now here we have a inside the form, we keep a simple div and we have a class name called form switch. Okay, and here we are defining a simple input type is equal to checkbox. Checkbox, and here we will put a class called class name form check input. Form check input, like this we define. Now what is the point here is here we have just define the output is like this. And in this, what we are doing is we are creating a simple approach like what is it? So this checkbox have dark mode. Yeah. Now simple, when user turns on dark mode, it should change the complete color. Right? That means it should change the complete color. This is BTN dark I am giving. Okay. It should change the complete color. So W100. So that means it should change the complete color for this. These are having class name form control. This is having another class name called form control. That means I need to change the appearance of this dynamical. Now when user selects this, it should be in complete dark mode, means complete background color black, text white, all such appearance we want to apply. Then how? We need a lot of context to apply. That means what we do here. Now we can create a simple here, we can create a class. I am adding a class style demo dot component dot CSS. Style demo component dot CSS. Here I will design a class called dark theme. What is this class dark theme? It will have a background color as black. Okay, and it will have color as what? White. That is the dark theme we are applying. So background color black, color as white, like this we define. Now important, like this we can add a lot, shadow effects and everything. Now this must be applied when user turn on this checkbox. Then how? That dark theme we have to apply to form. So form uses a class name. Class name is what? Dark theme. Dark theme, and actually we will import dot slash style demo dot component dot CSS. Now usually the dark theme is there, but it should be there only when I turn on this button. By default, I don't want that to apply. Then how? Can you tell any logic for this? For example, I am configuring constant theme, set theme. It is use state. Use state, it is a string. It is an empty string, right? Now we have to write a function. So handle theme change. Am I right? Now here we have to define for this checkbox. What is that? On change. On change, handle theme change. Now we need to get whether it is checked or not. That means we have to write a condition. E dot target dot what? Checked. If it is checked means it is true. If it is true, then set theme, we have to apply dark theme. Else we need to apply set theme as set theme as empty. I'm not applying anything. You can have an alternate theme. That means based on the checked property we have to define. And this theme we need to apply here. That means class name is actually dynamically coming from which one? Theme. Class name is coming from theme. That means now what should happen when I turn on, it will be dark mode. When I turn off, it will be normal. That means it is changing the class dynamically. That means entire appearance of that form is changing dynamically. That is classes. You can apply a class when you want to affect multiple elements, simultaneously multiple attributes. Only one specific element you want to control, then we have to do that by using style. You know the difference between using a class and a style. So if you are defining effects for any specific element, then you can go with style binding. Multiple, then you have to define class spec, right? So this I can keep just like deflex. So I will keep as justify content center, and align items center, and I can write a style. Style is I defined again height, because just now you learned 400 pixel. Then it will give that appearance for that like this. Now I can turn off and turn on the dark mode, and it will change that appearance. This is dynamically changing the appearance of any element. These are very common. This comes under the concept of what? Class binding. So this is example for that. Style demo dot component dot first CSS. In CSS, we are just using this dark theme. And style demo dot component dot JS. In JS, we are applying this one. In JS, we are applying this. This is all the appearance. So changing the appearance of element dynamically is very important. And that is possible by managing these two things. So that is style binding, another one class. These you will use later in so many ways, validations, effects, and all, we can do that. So this is one technical concept about React. So React have two basic things while working with components. Data binding one, style binding another, and another one is class binding. Now next very major concept in React is event binding. So what are events? How events are managed in React? What are the event binding basics? We will learn the list of all events, when which event is used. We learned only few: on click, on change, on blur, but we will learn all the events concept, because this plays the key role in handling lot of interactions. Interactions are managed by using events. And how this event binding works and how we manage different interactions, that we will see with event binding. That we will see tomorrow. Right, tomorrow we will have session, and actually our Naresh Technologies declares holidays from 13th. For Pongal we have holidays from 13th to 18th. 13 to 18. 13 to 18 we have holidays. Now, my holidays, I am telling. You are attending my class now, right? So it will be up to 18, right? We will be back on 19, but tomorrow we will have session, right? Tomorrow we will have session. So after tomorrow, again, we will meet on 19, right? Right.